This game has so many fucking stairs now. Like, look how many fucking stairs there are. Welcome back to Artibus version 0.6. This is the total reset update of Artibus. Artibus has been overdue for an update for quite a while now. The last time I released an update 0.5 with the portal infection stuff, that was 6 months ago, which is a bit crazy. And Artibus was actually being updated after Celeste kind of went on hold. So Artibus is a bit overdue, we will say. There are a lot of features that are kind of not working or not present for 1.18, and I plan on adding a lot more stuff surrounding 1.18, but for right now, all I need you guys to know is that this is quite literally a total reset. The first feature in this update is that all of the function-based features have been completely removed. I am planning on redoing all of the function-based features in this pack in the future. So things like, portal infection, additional mob spawning, player mechanics, things like that. Like all the stuff that we had in the pack beforehand is going to be changed a lot. And I'm looking forward to creating some new things entirely. I realize now that Artibus isn't really used by a lot of people, and it's not really used in the way that I would want it to be. Personally, I think it's a huge upgrade on vanilla Minecraft, and I am now used to the recipes because they just make a lot more sense to me, and I really enjoy using it in survival, but I know a lot of people think that it's a bit weird, and I've tried to address that a little bit in today's update, so we'll get onto that in just a moment. But first of all the new stairs added in 1.18, so the deep slate tiles and the waxed cut stone copper exposed. This is such a long name. So somebody has such a long fucking name. Where's the other one of this? Because there's like two of each. There it is. Waxed exposed cut copper stairs. It's such a long name. What the fuck? All of these now craft with 8 stairs. So when you craft them, you will not get 4 stairs, but 8. This is, of course, just logical in terms of the size and shape of a stair. A stair is 3/4 the size of a full block. So if you're using 6 full blocks in a recipe, you should get 8 stairs out of it as opposed to 4. So just a really simple recipe, re-added from... Well, inspired by a lot of things, really. I mean, Quark's done it. Vanilla Tweaks has done it. I think I had it independently. You know, it's a cool feature. All of the glazed terracotta is now crafted in the Stonecutter, a really simple one, but a lot of people tend to forget that. These are currently crafted in the furnace in vanilla, which makes no fucking sense at all, so you can now craft them in the Stonecutter. It's simple as that. Honestly, in this pack, if there's a recipe that you think is missing or has been removed, it's probably been moved to the Stonecutter, so feel free to just check the Stonecutter for, like, everything. Blasted bricks are now crafted in a blasted furnace. I don't know why I said blasted. Cracked stone bricks are crafted in a blast furnace. Basically, these bricks, cracked stone bricks, cracked nether bricks, and cracked blackstone bricks are supposed to be crafted in a furnace. Similar bullshit to this, but obviously a blasting furnace makes a lot more sense, so now they're crafted in a blasting furnace. I've also added the cracked blackstone bricks and blackstone, deep slate bricks and deep slate tiles. I'm not used to these yet. Deep slate bricks and deep slate tiles. The cracked variants of these are now also crafted in a blasting furnace as well, so updated to 1.18. We also have new recipes for dark prismarine and also red nether brick. These can now be crafted with either black dye or ink sacs, or red dye or nether wart in both cases. If we have a look for the recipes here. Dark Prismarine is crafted with 8 Prismarine bricks and either ink sac or black dye, and you get 8 Dark Prismarine, whereas red nether brick is crafted the same way, but with red dye or nether wart. Just a simple texture system that I think works really well. I'm yet to figure out how best to do wool, because currently in this game, a lot of things are dyed in a very unique way. As you can... What? Oh, it's just all the terracotta. Okay. It's just all of them together. Nice. We also need to do universal dyeing as well, so all the terracotta... We should do that soon. We'll do that soon. Anyway, currently, you get terracotta and you put a dye in the middle, and it's 8, and then you get 8 out of that color. That's how all the dyes should work, in my opinion. A lot of them do work like this. But then we have things like wool, where all the wools are just 1 white wool and a dye, and then you get 1 blue wool, which is a bit odd because we already have an existing recipe, which is 1 dye and 8 blocks, whereas this is 1 dye for 1 block. So it's a lot harder to get blue wool than it is to get blue terracotta, which seems strange because they're just a building block. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. But I'm gonna tweak dyeing in the future. I've got a few ideas, but yeah, basically the whole point of this is to make dark prismarine and nether wart more concurrent with the existing dye system, which I think is much better and much more efficient. We also have coarse dirt from soul soil, which is an interesting one. Yeah, not really much of an explanation for this one. Basically, you can craft coarse dirt back into regular dirt. So now if you're in the nether, you can actually get dirt in the nether from gravel that spawns there naturally, and soul soil from a soul sand valley. I'm simply going off the fact that it's called soul soil. That's it. It's just the fact that it says soul soil means you can make coarse dirt. That's it. That's the entire thing. I just think it's a recipe for convenience. It's really not that big of a deal. And maybe you want to try and do a nether only playthrough where you get dirt from this, if you know how to. Little trick there. We also have flower pots. I'm so sorry, guys. Flower pots were broken for ages. I don't really know why. I looked into the tag system, and it was using my old naming convention of custom brick as opposed to Artibus brick. So now flower pots can be crafted out of regular bricks and also nether bricks as well. That was the intention. The intention all along was to make it so that you could make flower pots out of nether brick, but what I actually did was just accidentally remove the recipe for flower pots. So if any of you are using Artibus and you were frustrated because you couldn't make a flower pot, you were right. I'm sorry. It wasn't part of the Stonecutter. It was just broken. Now, if you smelt red sand, you get red glass, and if you smelt soul sand, you get brown glass. That's it. That's the whole feature. I'm just gonna leave that one. Prismarine is now crafted from 4 Prismarine shards to get 1 Prismarine block, and then 4 Prismarine blocks to get 1 Prismarine bricks, and also 4 sea crystals to get 1 ocean lantern as well. Again, just easier recipes that you can craft in the survival 2x2 grid. And also easier to remember as well, because some of the recipes for these things are a bit weird. I'm not a fan of how it works usually. So usually what happens with these is, you craft 4x4, you craft a 2x2 of Prismarine to get a Prismarine block, but you craft a 3x3 of Prismarine shards to get Prismarine bricks. Now, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. So now in this, instead, you just take 4 Prismarine, I keep wanting to call these like pebbles or something, but no, 4 Prismarine and you get 4 Prismarine bricks. So basically, it works like the stone to stone brick recipe that already exists that we all use so much, and it's just again more consistency, easier to remember, and that's all we're really going for here. It's been a thing in my pack for a while that you can craft stone into smooth stone using the Stonecutter, because again that just makes a lot of sense in my mind. Hello. What was that? I don't know what that was. But yeah, we can also now craft smooth stone using a furnace. Simply because a lot of people go to use this recipe. I've been playing on multiplayer servers recently, and I kind of realized like a lot of people still expect to craft smooth stone in the furnace. Now this requires 2 sticks, 1 wooden planks, a fuel source, whatever you want to call it. So if you're smart and knowledgeable, you can use the Stonecutter to make these in bulk and really fast, but you shouldn't need to, basically, so that's fun. You can now use a furnace again. Magma blocks are now crafted from netherrack and a lava bucket, which again is a bit strange, but hold the phone. These are usually crafted from magma slime, or what is it called again? I forget. Magma blob? Magma slime? Magma cream! I know I can remember the name of that. They're usually crafted from magma cream, which means that you have to either harvest slime and blaze or magma cubes. And that doesn't really make any sense to me. This texture is designed to fit around netherrack. It's kind of the same coloring system, and it's designed to fit around it. So in my mind, this is just a piece of netherrack with lava flowing through it. I recently was playing the FTB... there's a mod pack for 1.16 where you're playing on an island. Basically, you use these things called drippers to drip liquid onto a block, and then the block converts. In my mind, if you had netherrack and you dripped lava onto it, it would become magma. So this is kind of this recipe, and it basically means that you can craft magma a little bit more easily. All you have to do is just nip to the nether, get 8 netherrack and also 1 bucket of lava, and you can just keep reusing the bucket, obviously, and you get yourself some magma. We also have new recipes for snow. This is more in the ways of consistency and balancing, but basically snow can now be crafted 2 different ways. You can craft it from either blocks, which will now yield 24 snow layers, or you can craft it from snowballs, which will yield 6. So you can do either based on what you need. And again, this is all based on the idea of consistency and also balancing as well. So 1 full block of snow becomes 24 of these. 3 blocks of snow becomes 24 of these, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I miscounted. But either way, it makes sense. It adds up. It's kind of the equivalent of crafting 3 blocks to 3 blocks, because these are usually 2 pixels tall, whereas a block of snow is 16 pixels tall. So it kind of makes sense. It also opens up the possibility to not have to craft your snowballs back into snow blocks in order to make snow layers. If you only need 6 instead of 24, then you can just use snowballs instead. So it's a convenience change. Now we have one of my favorite features in all of Artibus. I love this feature. I really do. I'm a big fan of the Stonecutter. As you can probably tell by now, I think it's really cool. And now I've added the ability to craft all different types of wood stuffs in the Stonecutter. So if you have yourself regular oak wood, you can now craft it back into oak log like that. You can also craft it into oak planks or slabs or stairs with the proper stair math as well. You can also also craft it into stripped logs, or obviously stripped oak wood if you're using the oak wood ingredient, and you can craft it into a buttload of sticks as well. Now, this idea, in my opinion, is kind of an interesting one. Obviously, in vanilla, if you take an oak log and put it into the crafting table, you get 4 oak planks. Now, I think it would be interesting to have as much as we have the blast furnace for things like ores, I would love there to be a table specifically for wood. So now, if you take your log and put them in a stonecutter, you actually get 6, which is slightly more efficient. Now, 6 oak planks is enough to craft the stairs, so you can get a full 8 oak stairs from 1 oak log. Or, of course, you can craft it straight into its slab variants, where it just doubles to 12. Or, of course, you can craft it straight into sticks, which would give you 24. Now, again, if I was to take 6 oak planks, put them in the crafting bench and do this, we would get 24 sticks. So the math works out quite nicely. It's pretty sexy. Do love this feature. It's very cool. Love the sawmill feature, as it used to be called. We also have ex nihilo blasting. You can now turn a cobblestone in... Oh, hello. I left that in there from testing. Never mind. You can now turn cobblestone into sand, like so. Cobblestone goes into gravel, and then, of course, gravel goes into sand. This feature basically means that you can use your excess cobblestone to make either flint or gravel, depending on what you need, or even sand for sandstone or glass. It basically just gives cobblestone a lot more features. I feel like there's a lot of times in vanilla survival where I will end up with a double chest filled with cobblestone, and I don't know what the hell to do with it, other than just smelt it all into smooth stone to craft into stone bricks. But now, you can blast it into gravel, and then blast that into sand, which is arguably a lot more helpful in my opinion. Entirely inspired by ex nihilo and the system of using hammers to hammer minerals down into eventually dust, which is obviously doesn't exist in vanilla Minecraft. We also have a long campfire recipe. This is rotten flesh to leather. My voice is dying. I've been recording for 11 minutes. If you leave rotten flesh on a campfire for a good, I don't even know how long it is at this point. It's a long time, though. I think it's like a full 5 minutes at this point. But if you leave rotten flesh on there for a long-ass time, it will dry out, in inverted commas, to leather. Just a convenient recipe for leather, which requires for you to stand around like an idiot for ages. Yeah. It's kind of all it does. I've just realized, though, what you could do, right, is you could... let me try this. I got to try this right now. Hopper, rails, campfire... to get some cobblestone since it's so fucking useless. You could basically do this, right? Oh, shit. That kind of didn't... What the fuck just happened? Anyway, what the fuck? What the fuck? I had no idea that was going to happen. Apologies. Anyway, important thing is, you could in theory just have a room filled with this kind of setup, and then you just load this up with a bunch of rotten flesh. It's still going, by the way. It's still going. And then when it pops off, it should in theory get picked up by the hopper. What the fuck just happened? They're still going. What the fuck? Okay. I didn't realize that was still a thing, honestly. Weird. Anyway, finally, we have a new recipe, which was actually suggested by some commenters. I forget who you are. Apologies. I think it may have been Chroma in the Discord. It usually is, but I forget. You can now make green dye out of blue dye and yellow dye. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's kind of very similar to the likes of the orange dye recipe, where you can just combine red and yellow to get orange. You can now combine blue and yellow to get green. So, green dye. Yeah. Artibus also has a number of additional climbable blocks. Climbable is the tag which is applied to things like vines, twisting vines, scaffolding, and it basically means that if you're inside of the block, you can just climb it like that. This feature was inspired directly from the Creeper's Code, in which chains are climbable, but I also decided to make iron bars climbable, because if you look at that shit, it looks like it would be very easy to climb, and also end rods as well. I kind of would like to see more use for end rods, and I guess I kind of have like a fireman pole type. I don't really know. You can climb end rods. Do with that what you will. Finally, we have changes to mob loot tables. Again, some of you will already be familiar with these ones if you remember the earlier episodes, but I feel it's worth going over them again, just because it has been such a long time since we showed these kind of things off. Certain mobs have had their loot tables completely removed. That includes the cat, panda, polar bear, turtle, and also dolphin. The reasoning for this is because in vanilla, these mobs drop foods that they like to eat, which makes no fucking sense. I don't feel the need to justify that one anymore. I think it makes sense that you just don't kill them. Just don't kill pandas, guys. They're pretty cute. Finally, we also have... I know I said finally there. We also have some mobs as well. Zombies now have a slightly larger chance to drop iron nuggets than they did iron ingots. But what I mean by this is basically it's times by 10. So in vanilla Minecraft, say there's a 1 in 100 chance that a zombie will drop an iron ingot. There is now a 1 in 10 chance that it will drop an iron nugget instead, which basically means that you will get technically slightly more iron per zombie than you would have done in vanilla, but it does require obviously that it gets killed by a player once again. So you can actually now make a relatively decent early game iron farm from just farming zombies. So this kind of gives you a little bit more of incentive to make a zombie spawner trap as opposed to just a skeleton spawner trap. I feel like in vanilla Minecraft, you find a zombie spawner and you put torches around it, like you think you're going to save it for later, but in reality everyone just wants to find a skeleton spawner because we all know that the bones and the arrows are a lot more valuable. So it's just better to build a skeleton farm, right? But zombie spawners are a lot more common, and maybe you actually have a reason to use them now. You can dry the leather out, you can dry the rotten flesh out to leather, and you can also maybe get a little bit more iron than you otherwise would have done. So it might be a good early game iron farm. Who knows? We also have new tags in the game for the skeleton and the wither skeleton. In an older version of Artibus, there was a feature called Scalawa's Mob Converter, which I ported over from its standalone data pack version. Basically, this means that there is a small chance that when skeletons spawn, they will spawn without a bow but with a stone sword, and there's a chance that when wither skeletons spawn, they will spawn without a sword but with a bow. And I wanted their loot tables to basically reflect this, because it was a little bit weird when you had a skeleton with a sword dropping arrows and you had wither skeletons with bows that never dropped arrows. So now skeletons' loot tables are basically dependent on whether or not they have a bow or not. This feature doesn't currently work, you won't find any skeletons with swords and you won't find any wither skeletons with bows, but I've left the feature in because frankly I can't be asked relearning how to do it when I finally come to re-add this feature. So for now you will be able to find in the loot table that wither skeletons can technically drop arrows, but only if they have a tag. So yeah. Shulkers now have a chance to drop in between 1 and 2 shulker shells. This is basically inspired by the Vanilla Tweaks data pack feature, which is just that, shulkers always drop 2 shulker shells. Obviously a very helpful feature. People love shulkers. I hate in vanilla that you can sometimes get 0 shulker shells from a shulker. So now it's just a chance between 1 and 2. So it's just a little bit less cruel. We have a number of mobs that drop leather, cows, horses, donkeys, mules, and llamas, and also trailer llamas as well. These mobs now always drop 1 leather, always. It used to be in vanilla Minecraft that they drop somewhere in between 0 and 2, but this is their skin we're talking about here. Like they don't have 0 or 2 of their skin, do they? Like it's implied that based on the texture of leather, that's a cow's body. Doesn't have 0 bodies or 2 bodies, does he? It's got one body. So now these guys will just always drop 1 leather. That applies to, again, cows, horses, donkeys, mules, and llamas as well. This also stretches to rabbits as well. So rabbits will now always drop 1 rabbit hide because, again, it's their body. So that makes sense. This leather system also applies to both mushrooms and also brown mushrooms as well. And these guys, again, have a feature which detects whether or not they are red or brown and will drop red mushrooms or brown mushrooms based on that fact. So mushrooms actually make sense. If you go to the effort of getting a brown mushroom in vanilla, which is now a lot more achievable because of the whole channeling trident thing, then yeah, this will basically work a lot better for you now. So yeah, mushrooms are better. I really want to do a texture for the mushroom. Now look at the difference in shade. I feel like the mushroom would look really good with that more dull, like crimson, like scarlet-y red color that we have on the mushroom. I want to do mushrooms now in Celeste. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this update of Artibus. It is a bit weird that we're restarting the project at this stage, but again, it's been such a long time since I've worked on it that I feel the need to do so. So I'm sure it won't be that big of a deal. One thing that I've realized recently, from all of you watching Terralith, it now currently has almost 4,000 views, which is incredible. Basically, people are very interested in world gen stuff. They're not interested as much in functions and recipes and loot tables as I am. Personally, I really like doing these changes because I think they're logical, more memorable, and they just make a lot more sense, and they're usually more balanced as well. But people really like world gen stuff, like crazy like world gen stuff. My good friend Starmute, who I regularly talk to in the Discord server about Artibus and the world generation stuff that we try and attempt to do, even though I'm not very good at it, he basically said that structures have actually actually been removed in the most recent update of Minecraft, but they're planning to re-add them in the future in one of the 1.18 sub-updates in like January or February time. So that means that structures will be back on the table and will actually work better than they ever did before as well. I am very interested in adding more structures to the game. I think Minecraft is sorely lacking in its exploration aspect. You only ever really explore for the sake of finding biomes, not for finding structures to fight and build your way through and loot. And I want to add more of that to the game badly. I have so many ideas for structures and I really want to implement them. I also have new ideas for dimensions as well. I have an idea for a sky dimension that I've had in the works for a long ass time now, as well as a dimension which is underneath the void as well. So loads of different ideas that I want to work on, all would add to the vanilla experience in my personal opinion. So hopefully the next update of Artibus is going to tweak some nether biome stuff. I've had some ideas in mind now for a while to simply use the nether as a sort of testing environment for what we want to do for world generation. I'm going to make it so that we have additional biomes in the nether. Some of those will be very simple, such as something that goes in between Warped Forest and Crimson Forest, where they're sort of like combined together, like they're fighting for the territory. But we also have ideas such as lava oceans. I have a biome idea called the Magma Crucible, which I want to try. I have loads of ideas. I'm going to hopefully work on those for 0.7 of Artibus, and at that point, hopefully people will be more interested in the project because it has some cool new features. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you look forward to the future of Artibus. I'm very tempted to kill this project because it's not very popular, but I really enjoy working on it. So hopefully it starts to gain some more interest. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the new year for some fun new content. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and bye-bye.